Is the building haunted or is the person haunted? This is one of the most frequent questions asked in the paranormal community. But what do you do if you find out it's both? When John asked our paranormal team to investigate his store, the answers he got were not what he was expecting. Stay tuned. Mystery Media Group presents Case File 36.
You are listening to Mystery Media Group.
Yay! We have John Barrett joining us.
Hello.
John, do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about your store?
Yeah, it's a great store. It's called the Pure Oils, and we're located in the Cache Valley Mall. We're the newest store in the mall, and we have things like essential oils and stuff, lamps like to put the essential oils on and makes their house smell great. We have bath bombs. We have a bath bomb workshop where you can make your own bath bombs, and also incense. And we have a ton of incense and the incense holders, tons of jewelry and tapestries and just a bunch of neat things in there. It's pretty colorful.
Don't forget the crystals and the rocks. Gemstones.
Oh, yes. We do have a lot of crystals and rocks and things like that, and sage and
Tarot cards.
Yeah,
Cards.
exactly. A lot of neat stuff.
Our book is in there.
Yes, and we've sold all but 2 so far.
Are you serious?
Yeah. You guys are celebrities.
Okay. Well.
I feel like one being on here.
Oh, geez. Well, you know how professional we are now.
I got Michelle those crystals necklace or bracelets from your shop. I don't know what they were for, but we told her it was for road rage, and it seemed to work. So
it worked for everything.
Just rub a little lavender behind her ear or something.
So while we were waiting, I got to tell you what happened this weekend.
Okay. Oh, Michael got to go to Bannock this weekend.
Nice.
Well, we headed there, and we got about 10 miles away, and my truck broke down again.
Oh, no.
So, long story short, we went back again, Bannock, on Sunday. There was nobody. It was beautiful. We got to go through the entire town. And I took my little, what's that called? That has the words come up.
Ovilus?
The Ovilus, yes. I had it on the whole time, and I got very, very little, almost nothing. Except when I went in the school, and we were looking at the desks, and it said forever and boring. I thought that was kind of fitting for the school.
Yeah.
And then we went into the church, and it said, Father, don't. And then when Michelle brought hers up, it said cut. I mean, it was almost the second we walked in there, Father, don't, and then cut.
Interesting.
Wow. That was interesting. That was the only thing that got on the Ovilus.
So I don't know. Remember if we told you about this story at Bannock. So Bannock is a ghost town, and she was taking a picture of an old doorknob.
Yeah, brass doorknob.
When she went to look at the picture later, there was a little girl in a red dress standing behind her, like in the reflection of the doorknob.
That's freaky.
She was there by herself.
Isn't there a story, like a ghost story about a little girl in a red dress?
A little girl in a red dress followed her dad to the mine one day, and he didn't know it, but he walked faster than she did. And as she went across the bridge, she fell in and drowned. And so she supposedly haunts the place after that.
It's a pretty cool picture. It's really crazy. We were able to do our book signing at John's store 2 weeks ago, I believe. And it went well. They went all out to allow us to come into the store. And we were super grateful for that. And it went good. We had a lot of new people that came and we were able to sell books and t-shirts and sign things and meet a lot of new people and hopefully get some new podcast listeners. And it was fun. So we wanted to thank John for letting us do that at his store. And then afterwards, we got to do a paranormal investigation at his store. John contacted me a couple of nights before we were going to do the book signing. And he said that a pair of psychics had been in your store, right?
Yeah.
And they had felt the presence of a man, pretty territorial type man. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Well, every time they'd come in, about every other weekend, they'd come in, do their psychic readings and stuff. And every time they would notice kind of an older gentleman, a spirit, is just hanging out, mostly in the back room near the bathroom. It kind of freaked me out a little bit because we'd be talking to them, and it kind of freaked me out because the mother would just start just shooing away a spirit and just start yelling at it to go away. And it kind of freaked me out. And she said this spirit's hanging out, kind of an older gentleman. And so I thought, well, every time they come in, they keep doing this. Maybe I'd talk to you guys and see what we can find out about it.
One of your workers gave him a name. Didn't she name him Gerald?
Yes.
And John had mentioned too that some stuff would get moved around at night when they were gone, and the toilet seat would get left up.
Yes. And I'm very well trained to put the toilet seat down, and I'm like the only guy that was working there at the time, so I know it wasn't me.
Bathroom light. No, that we don't know if it's due to the mirror and the motion sensor, but it was coming on by itself. So it could have been
that, and the water in the sink that would turn on by itself.
The water, though, isn't a motion sensor type thing. You have to.
It actually is.
Oh, it is.
But there'd be nobody in the bathroom at all. There's no way the water could, even the mirror's wouldn't be able to get it to do that. So
we kind of tested it out a little bit. You okay, Mike?
My cat's tearing up my leg. Ow! Get away!
That's why you don't
never
have
came
cats.
to me before.
Cats are mean.
They are. He's never jumped on my lap before. He's taking an interest to John anyway.
That's cool.
I'm an interesting guy.
You're not wrong. So we were kind of testing out the light in the bathroom, and we noticed that when something would pass by the mirror, it would turn on, but not every time. So that was a little strange. It would always turn on if somebody entered the bathroom, but not always when somebody like passed by the mirror or stood in front of the mirror. So I don't know. Don't know about that one. But we did go into the back room and perform an investigation, see what we could find. And we did a spirit box EVP session. We also had our EMF detector and the temperature gauge, and also my video camera with the IR light so we could see in the dark. We started off by asking questions. Mike, why don't you talk? I always do all the talking.
You do such a good job.
I don't, though.
I had my thermal imager in there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I didn't get much, but stop biting me. Do you remember when we were at the grill in Logan? And on the saddles, we kept getting that weird mist off the saddles, and Sierra got something too. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I got the same thing near John, especially around the time we were talking about Cher. Is that right?
Yeah.
But that was about the only thing I got on as far as thermal imager.
We did get a lot of really strange orbs with the IR camera. And I actually saw a few of them with my naked eye without the camera, but it would be floating kind of It almost looked like they'd come out of the bathroom, kind of float over the top of the door, and then they would surround John. I mean, I'm sure some of it could be dust particles or bugs, but not all of them. I mean, they just behaved kind of strange. And the fact that they were just kind of floating around John too was a little bit peculiar.
It was also dark, and we wouldn't have seen them.
No.
They had some luminescence to them.
Yeah, there was at least 4 that I saw with my naked eye that were bright enough for me to see without the camera. I don't know if you noticed them.
I do have video of me and my son. I know it sounds funny, but we were both doing that thing on the Wii, the dance competition thing, on the video game thing. And I have great video. It's on YouTube right now. And we think it's orbs just dancing around both of us, just everywhere, just tons of them. Then when the music would go faster, the orbs would fly around faster. At least we thought it was orbs. Maybe it was dust. I don't know. Maybe you can figure that out.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Where can our listeners find the video on YouTube?
I think it's under like Xbox orbs or something like that. We were just dancing around. Don't make fun of my dancing. I know my son was a lot better than me. But hey, yay, Dad, for giving it a try, right?
That's right.
That's right. That's all that matters.
So in our spirit box, we started off by asking some questions, and we repeatedly got the same 3 voices over and over answering the questions. We got 2 males. One of the males had a really deep, kind of gruff voice. And then we also got a female voice, and she wasn't super talkative, but talkative enough that you could tell it was a female. You know, there was also a lot of in between, like you can't really tell for sure what they were saying, but definitely the same 3 voices. Got some clips. I sent one of them to you, John, but I have a bunch more. Some of them, I think I know what they're saying, and some of them I'm not entirely positive. So let's take a listen. Here's the first one.
Are you friendly? Yes.
So that was one of the gentlemen's voices that we kept getting, and he said he was friendly. Here's the next one. Are you here every day? It says yes. So I asked if it's there every day, and it's the same male voice that we got before, and he said yes. Are you here every day?
Yeah.
Here's the next one. Are you next to John? That one was a little strange. Just the way it comes across. I don't know. This end part almost sounds like somebody's knocking, but this first part is like a yes, like a really.
Wow.
Strange.
Play it again.
Okay. I'm going to get rid of this knock so that you can hear it better. Are you next to John?
Yeah.
That's something from The Conjuring.
I know. But I can't quite figure out if that one is male or female. And I almost sound like female to me.
Glad it was by you, John.
Definitely yes, though.
Oh, boy.
I did capture that mist by you.
A lot of orbs by you, too. Could you tell us your name? Could you say that one more time so we know we understand? I'm going to amplify that just a little. I mean, I can hear something on that first answer, but I don't know what it says.
Yeah.
And then I'll let you listen to it one more time before I tell you what I think the last one says. Could you tell us your name? Could you say that one more time so we know we understand?
I kind of heard Mary, but...
Mary? The last one to me sounds like a no, because I asked him to repeat it.
Maybe, yeah.
It says no.
Yeah, sounds like a no.
But I don't know for sure what that first one, if it's answering us, but it's a female for sure. This one has a lot of static in it. So let's see how well you can hear it. Can you tell us why you stay here? I don't know what that says. Sometimes when you take out the static, it sounds even worse, like more mechanical. So try that one more time.
Can you tell us why you stay here?
It's almost a full sentence, whatever it says.
Can you tell us why you stay here?
Please do it one more.
Okay, here's the last part of it where we get the answer. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words.
Yeah.
Something about yes and then I don't.
Oh, I know what it is.
What?
Listen to it after I tell you. I worked at the mall here before.
Ah. Oh my gosh. That is what it says.
Play it again.
Yeah. Yes, at the mall here before.
I did find out that someone recently died like a few months ago that worked at the mall.
And we did get, when we were asking questions, we did get the word security. So we thought he was a security guard, right?
And I know that the person that did die, I think he did maintenance or something, but they do help out in security.
Here's the next one.
Can you walk towards me?
I don't know about that one. It's a man.
Can you walk towards me?
Right before I asked that, the little motion sensor that I had sitting in the door went off. So
Does it say keep coming?
maybe. Oh, maybe.
Can you walk towards me?
That's what it sounds like. Keep coming. Okay, here's the next one.
Do we have more than one person here? Do we have more than one person here?
It says yes, and it's that older, gruff male voice.
Yeah.
Does it sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says yes, but we don't know how many more we have. Here's the next one.
John is the one that's in here all the time. He runs the place. You know who he is?
It's 2 words, but I don't know what they say. You understand it, John?
Do it again. So play it again.
John is the one that's in here all the time. He runs the place. You know who he is?
I think it might say I do.
Melissa,
Yeah.
after you say this is John,
Uh-huh.
do you hear something in the background?
Let me listen one more time.
John is the one that's in here all the time. He runs.
Oh, yes, I do. I remember this now. This is, I think it says John. I say John's the one
That's what I thought heard.
Yeah.
Ooh.
John is the one that's in here all the time.
I heard John.
He
Something
runs
say
the
John.
place.
Yeah, it sounds like it says John right after I say that.
Huh.
John is the one that's in here all the time. He runs the place. You know who he is?
Yeah, it says John's the one that's in here all the time. And then you hear John. And I say he runs the place. You know who he is. And this last part probably does say, oh, yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Here's the next one.
Do you like what John's done with the place?
That's like a full sentence too. I have no idea.
Replay it.
Let me see if it sounds worse or better if I amplify it.
Do you like what John's done with the place?
I do not know.
I don't either.
4 words.
I know
I know.
something.
Yeah, I know something, right?
I don't think so.
That's what it sounds like. I don't think so.
Maybe.
All right.
Something weird that happened real quick.
Yeah.
Our paranormal team came, after all this, and I told them what happened, and they had a little spirit boxing on their laptop. And what happened, and they had a little spirit boxing on their laptop. And we played around with it. We were just by the register. Not sure if I told you about this. We were just by the register, and they started playing the spirit boxing on our laptop, and we said, "Is anyone here?" And we heard a male's voice say, "Hi, John."
Oh my
And I
God.
said, "How do you know me?" And he said, "From the store." It was clear as crystal. It was just so crazy. It freaked me out.
Did the voice sound like any of the ones that we captured on our spirit box?
Yeah, I mean, it could have been someone that, yeah, but now they know me. Yeah, it was freaky.
That is crazy. Here's the next one.
Are you the one that turns the light on and off in the bathroom? Can you turn it on right now?
Okay, so this is what I hear. This sounds like a woman almost crying. And then I ask the question.
Are you the one that turns the light
That's a
on and
sob.
off in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Can you turn it on right now?
So right here, I hear I did.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember that part.
Yeah. And then I hear another like cry or something right here. So there's like two sobs and then an I did. I'll play the whole thing one more time.
Are you the one that turns the light on and off in the bathroom? Can you turn it on right now?
Here is the next one.
10 and 3? Is there 3?
So we had asked how many spirits were there, and we couldn't tell for sure what the answer was. So we were trying to decide. And then I asked this question.
Is there 3?
3.
Yeah.
It says yes, because we were getting the 3 voices.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Oh, was that a scream? Are you upset?
So the first part sounds like a scream or a really loud sob or something.
Oh.
Do you remember that when it came across?
I do. I remember.
It was loud and it kind of gave me the chills. Here's the next one.
That sounded like Walter. Did I get your name right? Is it Walter?
Yes.
Do you know Walter?
I don't know a Walter.
Was that the security guard?
That's what I was wondering.
I need to ask. Yeah, I need to ask, see if that was the guy's name that died.
Because it does sound like that same voice. I'd be curious to know. This one, you'll hear a knock.
You're the gentleman that hangs out in this room. Can you say hello? If you're the gentleman that hangs out in this room, can you say hello?
So right after I say that, you'll hear a little knock. And then I don't know for sure what this says. I think it says, hey. Hey.
Yeah, I thought he said, hey.
Yeah. Here's the next one.
This box I'm holding in my hand could possibly hear you speak if you want to try. We have 2 devices here on the floor. One has a green light, and if you get near it, it will go red.
Did you hear that?
Light.
Yeah, right at the very end, it says light.
We have 2 devices here on the floor. One has a green light, and if you get near it, it will go red.
Light. Here's the next one. Maybe that's not it. I might have saved the wrong clip. It sounded like it said mental. I'm mental. And that would make sense to you, John, if who we were talking to is who we were talking to.
Right.
So here's the last EVP that I'm going to play. This one was the one that kind of got us thinking. So I'll just play it.
Can you say that again? You know, Sherry? That's what I thought I heard it say.
So right here, I thought it said Sherry the first time I listened to it, but then when I went back, it actually says Cher. I'm with Cher.
It made my blood just boil, and it just freaked me out. As soon as I heard that, I knew exactly who that was. Cher.
Yeah. And so I remember asking, does anybody know a Sherry? And you were like, oh. So we think we got what could possibly be a security guard that just stays there. And then possibly this Cher. I don't know if you want to give any information on her. Do you?
I'm not going to give any last names or anything, but it was an ex of mine who passed away recently, and in life kind of followed me a little bit, and it was a little unnerving, like totally everywhere, and kind of made life a little difficult. And she had made a vow to do this, and even after she died, my family was thinking, well, I wouldn't be surprised if she haunts you. And then this happened, and in a way I wasn't even surprised.
Yeah. So it made a lot of sense to you that this could possibly be one of them. Do you want to kind of talk about a couple of incidents that you had right after we did this session at your store?
Yeah. So the next day, and we have these little colored tubes that are glass, and I had set the tube right inside the glass, and as soon as I let go of it, it just shattered, and the lamp was all the way cooled down. Everything it wasn't hot or nothing, and it just shattered completely. And so we thought that was a little bit strange. Then later on that day, a lady came in with, I believe to be her mother. She looked like she had like Alzheimer's or something, and she had totally like white eyes. It was kind of freaky, and she could barely move. She was barely walking, and they were holding hands. She was helping her. And so I went up and approached them, said, "How's it going?" And the old lady just looked right at me, and she came right in my face, and she just kept saying F you behind me. There's something behind me, F you. And then she backed off, and then she looked behind me again. She sat there, F you. And I was just like, is she saying what I think she's saying? And the lady said, yes, she is. We think that she sees spirits or something, and she does this all the time. And that kind of freaked me out a little bit, especially right after this our little meeting and stuff. And then the next day, Shiloh was in a doctor's appointment, and there was two doctors in with her, and she was just telling them about our experience in the back room and everything, and talking about Cher. And they thought, well, that's kind of creepy. And then they started to talk about something else, but there was a glass of water just sitting on the table, nobody near it, and it shattered completely. And the doctor just screamed and yelled and said some words, and she couldn't believe it. And so they were just like, let's not even talk about this ever. Just kind of freaky a little bit, kind of like we were being attacked or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And John had called me that night to kind of tell me some of the stuff that had gone on. And I told this story to you, John, but I don't think I told Michael. I was on my lunch break at work. I was just in my office editing some of these audio clips. And all of a sudden, I have this chair in my office. It's a pretty light chair, but it has wheels on it, rolls across the floor. And I'm the only one in there, and I have the door shut. And I was like, that's really strange. I've never had anything like that happen before or since, unless there was an earthquake or something. I don't know why it would roll across the floor on its own. But I just happened to be editing these audio files at the time. So that was a little strange.
I think we walked into something there.
Yeah.
It was freaky.
But I did come to your house a couple of days later, and we did another spirit box session there because we wanted to know if she was possibly following you around. If she was there, she didn't really want to talk. But it did seem to me like you had a family member there. Do you want to talk about who we thought might have been there?
My mother.
Yeah, it was my EMF detector. It kept going off like all the way to red in this one corner. And it just happened to be a corner of the house where there was a painting. And I didn't know at the time, but it was a painting of your mom.
Yeah, when she was younger.
And your son was doing the spirit box session with us, and he did hear her name come across.
Remember hearing in the spirit box, we asked, "What's my mom's name?"
Oh
And
yeah.
it said Arlene. How would they know that? You know?
You told me a story about another person that came into your store and said that somebody was with you. You want to tell us that story?
Actually, my nephew was there, and he was just standing kind of around the register, and he was visiting me at the store, and this lady said she was a psychic medium, but she didn't say anything until after she just kind of her head kind of shook, and then she just kind of looked at my nephew and she said, "You have a woman standing right behind you." She actually said, "Your grandma is standing right behind you," who is my mom, and she's pointing right at your heart. He's just like, "What you look like?" And she explained the tea. Her hair is all poofy and really light colored and just exactly what you look like. And she says she's pointing at your heart because she can tell that you're mentally in pain, kind of anguish right now, which I do believe that is a lot of the case with him. He's had a pretty rough life and he's going through a rough spot right now.
That's crazy. My whole thought was, okay, Cher might be trying to follow you around and make your life miserable like she said she would.
You remember in the spirit box, you could hear her saying, "I see John."
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she said, "I see John."
Hmm.
And, and it made me wonder how often they can actually see us and how hard it is for them to see us.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions we have. That's why we keep doing this so we can find out more and more. But it did seem as though your mom was with you also, and she may have been trying to protect you from Cher. And maybe that's why Cher didn't come through when we were at your home.
Yeah, another instance, I think it was the same lady that was talking to my nephew, had mentioned that there was someone in the back room, and it was a woman, and she's just screaming out for me to help her. And I was just wondering why would she ask me to help her?
It could have been
I
Cher.
was, or maybe she's asking for forgiveness. I don't know.
Yeah, hard to know. But we did have that other male voice that we didn't really get a clear answer as to who he was. But I thought it was really strange that the male voice answered, "I'm with Cher."
Yeah,
So who is
yeah.
that? Who we don't know.
It could have been a family member of hers. And weren't they speaking in another language
It
too? And I know her family and her speak Navajo fluently.
Yeah, I kept thinking on a couple of occasions that I was hearing a foreign language. I don't know what that foreign language was for sure, but it could have been Navajo. Michael, what do you think? Is there anything you want to add to the investigation?
No, we had a good time. It's
Yeah.
fun to meet John and hang out at his place.
Yeah, it's a great store. I could see why people want to hang around.
Right.
Smells fantastic.
Yeah, it smells great. Lots of good energy, lots of good vibes. Your employees are pretty amazing. And I could see why people would want to hang out there. See why your
Thank
mom
you.
would want to hang out with you and make sure you're okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
well,
was very
it was
interesting.
fun. I am going to be opening a new store in Twin Falls, Idaho. I got the approval from the mall over there. I'm getting excited about that.
I love Twin Falls. There's a lot of places we can take you to up there.
Sounds awesome.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Hey.
Thanks, John.
If you enjoy our show, please like, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review. We will be introducing other Mystery Media Group guests in our upcoming episodes, along with weekly bonus material. If you'd like to see more pictures and evidence from our adventures, visit www.destination-mystery.com. You'll find a link to our blog, as well as a link for merch and contact information. Until next time, find your own destination.
Solve the mystery.
This is a production of Mystery Media Group.
Yay!